Most Hindu temples center their worship around the distribution of prasad. Prasad is the sacred food, sweets, or flowers offered to a deity and then returned to the followers as a blessing. It is a quiet, passive exchange of reverence. High in the hills of central India, the Karila Dham temple operates on an entirely different logic. Here, the ultimate offering cannot be eaten or held, it is performed. Devotees at Karila Dham present the Rai dance to the goddess. The Rai dance is a rapid, centuries-old folk dance native to the region, performed with high intensity for the duration of the night. Replacing a plate of sweets with hours of relentless physical movement requires a different understanding of what constitutes a sacred gift. This devotion is kinetic, exhausting, and public. The temple sits in the remote, rugged hills of the Ashoknagar district in Madhya Pradesh. This map shows the isolated terrain that serves as the backdrop for the ritual. During the annual festival of Rang Panchami, hundreds of thousands of people flood into these hills. Rang Panchami is a Hindu festival occurring 5 days after Holi, celebrated with the massive throwing of colored water and powder. As the sun sets, the daytime celebration shifts into a more intense, fire-lit atmosphere. Towering bonfires are ignited, and the massive crowd gathers in the shadows to begin the night's true work. The sheer volume of the gathering and the darkness of the hills create an environment where the usual rules of quiet, temple-bound devotion are suspended. To find the reason for this explosive energy, we must look beneath the modern festival into the ancient history anchored in this soil. Local mythology identifies these specific woods as the forest refuge of the goddess Sita. Following her exile, she lived in these very hills. The site is specifically revered as the birthplace of her twin sons, Luv and Kush. The all-night Rai dance acts as a centuries-long joyous celebration, a communal response to the birth that ended the isolation of Sita's exile. A sponsored performance at Karila Dham requires a specific prerequisite, a deeply personal wish, like the recovery of a family member or a successful harvest, must first be fulfilled. When a wish is granted, devotees sponsor a Rai performance to thank the deity. They enlist the traditionally nomadic Baidiya women to act as physical proxies for their gratitude. This bypasses traditional hierarchies, transforming the open hills into a decentralized theater of shared devotion. Devotion here functions through human movement rather than the collection of material wealth. The payment to the goddess is the stamina of the dancers. At the peak of the night, the sensory load becomes total. Hundreds of individual dance circles operate simultaneously across the landscape. The driving rhythm comes from the traditional tol. The dol is a large, double-headed wooden drum used in Indian folk music. Its relentless pace dictates the physical movement of the entire crowd. Hours of continuous rhythm under firelight create a collective, trance-like state. The repetitive sound strips away exhaustion and focuses the attention of thousands onto a single point. This intense acoustic environment serves as a bridge, linking the physical exertion of the followers to a heightened state of spiritual awareness. During the climax of these dances, many report a palpable sense of energy, an invisible, overwhelming force saturating the hillside. This reported energy invites a question. Is it a psychological byproduct of the massive synchronized crowd, or a genuine mystical presence generated by such intense communal focus? The Karila Dham ritual changes the definition of prasad from a material object to a physical action. The endurance required to dance through the night becomes the blessing itself. In these hills, faith manifests as an exhausting, ecstatic motion, a force sustained entirely by the momentum of human gratitude.